Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Mukesh English. This is your favorite YouTuber Mukesh Soni. Friends, in this video I'm going to solve the 2024 examination question paper of 4th semester BCA and B.Sc Bangalore City University Generic English. That is the NEP syllabus, the last batch, and I already solved the model question paper 2023 examination question paper, Siddhartha novel summary, and a TED Talks solution, poem summary, and the writing skill, email writing, technical writing, everything, all the whole syllabus videos are done. You can have a look in the description box for all the videos links. Though you are the last batch for this syllabus, so all the best, do well. Duration for the examination 2 hours 30 minutes, maximum mark 60. So the section A of your question paper is for 40 marks. And out of 40 marks, 30 marks questions will be asked from the novella SIDDHARTHA, and the 10 marks questions will be asked from the poems or TED Talks. So let's begin it. The questions from the novella. 5 marks questions from novella. You need to opt only 2 questions out of 3. Question number 1. What does Siddhartha learn from his journey? In the novel Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse, the protagonist Siddhartha learns that true wisdom cannot be taught, but must be discovered through the personal experience. 1 minute. I'm sorry. The true wisdom cannot be taught, but must be discovered through the personal experience. Siddhartha embarks on a spiritual journey, rejecting the traditional teachings of the Brahmins and even the words of Gautama Buddha, believing that enlightenment cannot be attained through the doctrines or the others' paths. Instead, he explores various ways of living, from extreme asceticism with the samanas to a life of luxury and the sensual pleasure with Kamala and Kama Swami. Through these contrasting experiences, he comes to understand that knowledge gained from books or teachers is the superficial knowledge until it is deeply felt or lived. As he tells Govinda in the final chapter, wisdom is not communicable. The wisdom which a wise man tries to communicate always sounds foolish. Ultimately, Siddhartha learns the importance of harmony with nature and the unity of all life. The river, under the guidance of ferryman Vasudeva, becomes his greatest teacher. Listening to the river, Siddhartha discovers that time is an illusion and that all moments, past, present, and future, exist simultaneously. This revelation helps him grasp the interconnectedness of all things. He also learns that love, once rejected as a distraction, is essential to human experience, especially through his relationship with his son. In the end, Siddhartha attains peace not by renunciation or by indulgence, but by embracing the totality of life. The novel suggests that enlightenment is not about escape from the world, but about deep acceptance and understanding of the world. Question number 2 for 5 marks. Sketch the character of Vasudeva, the ferryman. So one character sketch is fixed, right? It will always appear. Vasudeva, the enlightened ferryman, is the guide who finally leads Siddhartha to enlightenment. Siddhartha first meets Vasudeva after leaving Gautama and Govinda and immediately notices Vasudeva's serenity. Although Vasudeva lives within this world, his presence seems to transcend it, and all who meet him feel his divine, enlightened energy. He doesn't boast about his power or wisdom, but simply credits all knowledge he has to the river. He credits all the knowledge whichever he has received, he gives the credit to the river. His primary action, other than ferrying passengers across the river, seems to be listening to whatever wisdom the river has given to him. He is such a powerful figure that when a desperate, suicidal Siddhartha, convinced he'll never reach enlightenment, encounters Vasudeva second time, meets Vasudeva second time, and he asks to become Vasudeva's apprentice. In a way, Siddhartha depends on Vasudeva to save his life. So throughout Siddhartha's spiritual progression, Vasudeva keeps him moving in the right direction by prompting him to listen to the river. I'm sorry, listen to the river whenever he has questions or doubts. Vasudeva, who has literally and figuratively ferried Siddhartha to the enlightenment, can now leave the earth with Siddhartha taking over as ferryman. Vasudeva will live on in Siddhartha's own enlightenment and teachings. So you can see Vasudeva in Siddhartha's teachings, in Siddhartha's enlightenment. Third question for 5 marks. What are the worldly experiences Siddhartha learns from Kumar Swami, the merchant? In Siddhartha novel, Siddhartha learns many things, many important things from many important experiences from Kumar Swami, the wealthy merchant who teaches him the ways of business and material life. After leaving behind his spiritual pursuits as a samana and rejecting the formal teachings, Siddhartha enters the city and begins a new phase of life centered around wealth, pleasure, and success. Kumaraswamy hires him for his intelligence and calm demeanor, and under his guidance, Siddhartha becomes a successful businessman. From Kumaraswamy, Siddhartha learns the practical skills of business, how to negotiate, how to read and write letters, how to handle goods, and how to deal with the customers. He becomes familiar with the world of profit and loss, desire and disappointment. However, Siddhartha also realizes that while Kamaswamy, I'm sorry, not Kumaraswamy, while Kamaswamy is constantly anxious about money and outcomes, he himself remains detached, treating wealth and commerce as a game rather than a goal. So, over the time, though Siddhartha is gradually drawn into the comforts and distractions of a material wealth, he gets indulged in luxury, gambling, sensual pleasures. But eventually, this life leaves him feeling empty and spiritually dead, leading him to abandon it in search of deeper meaning. In this manner, through Kamaswamy, Siddhartha experiences the emptiness of materialism, which becomes a very important step in his journey through enlightenment. Now we are dealing with the 10 marks questions from the novel Siddhartha. Each question is for 10 marks, totally 20 marks. Now, Siddhartha convinces his father to allow him to live alone. Elaborate. How? In Siddhartha, the young Siddhartha decides to leave his home in search of spiritual truth. As he becomes dissatisfied with the teachings and the rituals of the Brahmins, he approaches his father, a respected Brahmin, to take permission to join the wandering samanas who live a life of extreme simplicity and renunciation. However, his father is initially deeply troubled and refuses to allow him to go as because he has high hopes for his son's future within the Brahmin tradition. Rather than argue or rebel, Siddhartha silently stands still through the entire night, waiting patiently outside his father's room, demonstrating his resolve and his discipline, his decision. This quiet protest shows his seriousness and calm determination. In the morning, Siddhartha's father got moved by his son's strength of will and maturity. He realizes that he cannot hold him back and gives his reluctant blessing and asking only that Siddhartha should return if his journey proves fruitless. If you don't learn anything, please do return. So this scene highlights Siddhartha's inner strength, his respectful yet firm nature, and marks the beginning of his journey toward self-discovery, away from conventional teachings and toward personal experience. Second question for 10 marks. Explain the journey of Siddhartha after leaving the main tenets of Gautama's eightfold path. After meeting Gautama Buddha and listening to his teaching, Siddhartha respectfully acknowledges the wisdom of Eightfold Path but chooses not to follow it. He realizes that while the Buddha has attained enlightenment, the path that led him there is unique to him, but cannot be transferred blindly followed by others. Siddhartha believes that true understanding cannot be taught through doctrine, but must come through personal experience and self discovery. After leaving Gautama, Siddhartha begins a new phase of his journey by turning away from spiritual teachers and entering the material world. He explores the sensual pleasures in the worldly life with the courtesan Kamala, and later becomes a successful merchant under Kamaswami. Over the time Siddhartha indul- 1 minute, what's the time? Yeah. Over the time Siddhartha indulges in luxury, gambling, and desire, but this life eventually leads to spiritual emptiness and despair. Disillusioned, he abandons the material world and he comes back to the river where he meets the humble ferryman Vasudeva, who teaches him to listen to the river and understand the unity of all existence. Through quiet reflection and communion with nature, in the company of with nature, Siddhartha finally gains the inner peace and enlightenment, not by following a prescribed path, but by living through all the phases of life and embracing its totality. Last question for 10 marks. Vasudeva is instrumental in Siddhartha finding spiritual enlightenment justify. What's the role of Vasudeva? Vasudeva, the humble ferryman in Siddhartha's life, plays a very important role in guiding Siddhartha towards spiritual enlightenment. Unlike formal teachers or preachers, Vasudeva does not offer any lectures. Instead, he becomes a silent, wise companion, living in harmony with nature and deeply tuned to the voice of the river. When Siddhartha, who is confused with this material world, he meets Vasudeva and he finds not a friend but a spiritual guide who leads him back to the inner peace through deep listening and observation. Vasudeva teaches Siddhartha to learn from the river, which becomes a symbol of life's unity, timelessness, and flow. Under his guidance, Siddhartha realizes that all things are connected, that time is an illusion, and the enlightenment comes from accepting life in all its forms, like joy and sorrow, gain and loss, birth and death. Vasudeva's quiet presence, humility, and deep wisdom help Siddhartha to let go of ego, desire, conflict. In the end, Siddhartha achieves what he has sought for a long time, not through scriptures, but through the simple, profound lessons which Siddhartha and the river had taught him. In this manner, Vasudeva is truly instrumental in Siddhartha's spiritual transformation. So these were the 30 marks questions from the novel Siddhartha. Now we are going to discuss the 10 marks questions from poems and the TED Talks. So 5 marks each question, select only 2 questions. Question number 1. How does Maya Angelou contrast the effects of imprisonment and freedom in the poem Caged Bird? In the poem Caged Bird, the poet Maya Angelou shows the difference between freedom and imprisonment by comparing the two birds. The bird can fly anywhere it wants. It enjoys the wind, the sky, the sunlight, and has no limits. It's happy and confident, living without fear. This bird represents people who live freely with equal rights and opportunities. On the other hand, the caged bird cannot move freely. Its wings are clipped and feet are tied. It is trapped behind bars and cannot see the world outside. It feels angry, scared, and helpless. But even in this sad condition, the caged bird sings. It sings about freedom, something it dreams of but cannot have. So, through this contrast, Maya Angelou shows that freedom brings joy and strength, while imprisonment brings pain and longing. Yet, the dream of freedom stays alive even in the darkest hours. Second question for 5 marks. Bob Dylan or Dylan Thomas uses a powerful imagery and metaphors to convey the growth and energy that exist in nature. Explain. In the poem, the force that through the green fuse drives the flower, Dylan Thomas talks about a powerful force that moves through all the living things. It gives energy to the flowers, flows through water, moves blood in the speaker's body. The same force gives life to to plants, people, rivers, and love. It represents nature's power, or possibly time itself. Dylan Thomas shows how this force connects all forms of life, making the speaker feel close to everything around him. However, Dylan Thomas also shows that the same force is responsible for destruction. It is not only makes flowers grow, but also blasts the roots of trees. It powers blood in the speaker's body, but also leads to death. The poem uses the images of quicksand, a shroud, and a tomb to remind us that the energy that creates life will also destroy it. Through this contrast, Dylan Thomas explains that life and death are not separate, they are both the part of the same cycle. Even though the speaker understands this connection, he feels helpless to explain it to nature or others. The third question for 5 marks. So you have a choice here, two questions you have to select. Now, this very special question. Prepare a TEDx talk on any one of the topics, bipolar disorder or albinism. So if you know the answer, then only you attempt this question, this very tricky question, because you should have the information. So it's just like you have to prepare a content of your talk on these topics, the TEDx topic. So if I say bipolar disorder, you have to begin and you need to give the information. You can pause the video and you can read it. Similarly, on the second topic. So what will I say if you're not prepared for those topics? It's better you prepare the poems, these two poems, you do better so that you can opt two questions. Remember, two questions you have to write. Okay, if the topics are easy, you can write anything. So this is how we have discussed here 40 marks questions, 30 from Siddhartha novella, 10 marks questions from the poems and from the TED Talks script. Now 20 marks questions, that is called writing skill. So whatever the answers I have given, they are the model answers. For strengthening your answer or detailed answer, I suggest you refer to your textbook or my videos on summary and the previous year's question papers. Now section B, 20 marks. Here, the very first question, write any one of the following. So here you have here, what is the question is here? Letter writing. The very first question you have here, letter writing. Three questions are given, three letters are given. Select any one letter. Assume that you are Varun or Urmila. Write a business letter to the marketing officer of Wellspun India Private Limited, complaining about the defects found in the fabric design. So it's a complaint letter. So the format, always sender's address, date, receiver's address, salutation, subject, body of the letter, and finally thanking note and yours faithfully. So I will not read the content. Go through my videos on letter writing, business letter writing, where you will get all the letters, simple letters with examples, and here you can pause the video. So first letter is a complaint letter. Second letter you have here, imagine you are a copywriter in a service provider company, broadband. Prepare a flyer with description. So it's not a letter. You have to prepare you can say like a branding. You have to prepare a advertising flyer, a kind of a flyer, a kind of description to give an advertisement talking about the features of any product. Okay. So here you can have a look here. So like name of the product, some tagline, why you should choose this product, what does this product offer, okay, and for whom this product is here, what's the special offer, whom should they contact, any website, any kind of link is available. Okay, so you are going to branding the product, you are going to advertising the product. I'm sorry, there may be some disturbance, some sellers may be here. Okay, so you have an option in this block here. Either you opt letter writing or any product advertising or the product detail. Flyover means to say, flyover means to say, a kind of flyer means detail you are writing. So make a big box on your answer script and then you give in a detail, decorate, write in capital, like how you prepare the poster. Similarly, you have to prepare the product description. Okay, next section you have here email writing. First was business letter or product description. Here, email writing. So on email writing also I have done special videos. Links are in the description box. So appreciation email. Draft an email appreciating Mr. Satish on the successful completion of the project headed by him. So obviously the receiver's email address, subject option, dear Mr. Satish, then the content, then the warm regards, with regards, best wishes, etc. Then again, you have the next question. Drop an acknowledgement email to the manager of the logistics company on the safe reception of the lab equipment on time. So same format you have to apply. You can pause the video and you can read the content. Then you have one more email here, congratulation email, right? So this section you have here email writing. Select any one email question and you answer for 5 marks. So 5 marks letter writing or product description, 5 marks email, so 10 marks are done, right? Now you have another 5 marks question. Write a blog on scientist or any author you admire. I have not given any answer to this question. See, people get confused, sir, what to write in blog. You write anything which comes in the mind. There is no restriction that you should write only this thing or that thing or this way or that way. No. See, blog means you have complete freedom to write according to your way, however you write. So if you write best way, in a best way, easy manner, easily understandable manner, your blog will be very hit. People will read your blog, you'll get more viewers. So I'm not given any answer to this question. You can also watch my video on blog writing guidelines. So now, in option to this blog writing, you have one more question here. Different types of social media. So this question's answer you will get from the topic social media content writing. So we have so many types of social media platforms: microblogging, photo sharing, video sharing, discussion forums, content blogging, Insta, etc. Insta, Facebook. We have LinkedIn. Okay. So this is how we have solved here the question paper of 2024 fourth semester BC B.Sc, and this is your syllabus. A glance at the syllabus, just one glance, so that you can recall what are the topics you have in your syllabus. And this is the scheme of your question paper, the skeleton of your question paper, how the question paper will appear. So friends, this is how I have solved the fourth semester BCA, B.Sc question paper under BCU. And I would like to acknowledge your thanks. I mean to say, I would like to thank you for being connected with my channel since the first semester. And you were my first subscribers because I started my channel with you guys only. And the journey is getting end here with this fourth semester because you won't have English in the forthcoming semesters. But stay connected, keep watching the stories, the poetry explanation, because the language always brings a flavor in the life. So stay connected with my channel, promote my channel, and tell your juniors to watch my videos. So thanks to all the BCU students of B.Sc and B.Sc.A students for connecting with me for the continuation for the continuing with the four continuous semesters. Thank you so much. I wish you good luck for the examination. Happy future ahead. God bless you.